My golden brother knocked up my girlfriend, so parents rewarded him by making him CEO and gifting him a villa. But I didn't let it slide, and my ultimate revenge plan has already begun. Be me, 32-year-old male. Need to get this off my chest. Family stuff that happened recently is seriously messed up. To understand why it hit me so hard, you gotta know the background. Grew up with my younger brother Marcus, 29. From outside, looked like normal family. Inside, dynamics were seriously twisted. Marcus was this miracle baby. Mom had really rough pregnancy with him. He was super sick first couple years. In and out of hospital sick. Breathing problems. Infections. The whole deal. Remember sitting in hospital waiting rooms a lot as a kid. Having sick kid is scary, I get it. But even after Marcus got better, my parents, especially Dad, kept treating him like he was made of glass. Meanwhile, I was expected to be perfect, responsible older brother. Should know better about everything. Marcus could skip school because he needs his rest. Marcus failed a class because he's been through so much. Marcus broke expensive stuff and it's, don't be mad at your brother. But me? Had to get perfect grades. Never talk back. Help around the house. Basically act like mini adult from age 7. The double standards were insane. Remember this one time in high school? Got detention for being late to class once. Grounded for a whole week. That same month. Marcus got caught skipping school to hang with friends at the mall. Parents just had a talk with him about it. Started working with Dad in his electrical business when I was 15. Not because I was passionate about being an electrician back then, but because it was only way to get any attention or approval from him. You know what though? Actually got good at it. Really good? Started learning everything about electrical work. Staying late to watch Dad do complicated stuff. Reading manuals. Watching YouTube tutorials. Meanwhile, Marcus was, well, Marcus. Smart kid when he wanted to be, but zero work ethic. Could charm anyone with his poor little sick kid routine. That he never grew out of. Tried college for like 2 semesters. Dropped out because it was too stressful. Started some online business selling dropship junk that failed. Then tried to be day trader. Lost bunch of Dad's money. But somehow, I was still the one getting lectures about supporting your brother. And family comes first. Not gonna lie, it created this weird mix of resentment and responsibility in me. Loved my brother because he's my brother, but also couldn't stand being around him most of the time. We were total opposites. I was serious, hardworking one who valued keeping my word and doing things right. He was the fun one who never faced consequences. Thought rules were for other people. Dad's business was solid. Basic residential electrical work. Some light commercial stuff. Nothing fancy but paid the bills. I saw potential in it though. When not on jobs, was learning about new technology. Smart home systems. Security installations. Dad was old school, doing things the way he'd always done them. But I kept pushing to modernize. Take on bigger projects. Crazy thing is, even when I brought in new clients or finished big jobs perfectly, Dad would find some way to give Marcus credit. Your brother's charm really helps with customer relations, he answered phones sometimes. Marcus has such good ideas for the business. He suggested we get a website in 2020. Moved out as soon as I could afford it. Got my own place about 20 minutes from parents. Close enough to help with business, far enough to have some space. Thought I was doing pretty good. Had my own apartment. Was making decent money. Learning new skills. Was even thinking about getting master electrician license. Maybe starting my own business someday. Met this girl I'll call Natalie, 28, about 5 years ago. On this big rewiring job we had at luxury apartments downtown. She was property manager there. First time I saw her, she was arguing with some HVAC guys about their shoddy work. Like really getting into technical details of why their installation wasn't up to code. Remember thinking, damn, she actually knows her stuff. Most property managers I dealt with just wanted things done cheap and fast. But Natalie was different. She'd actually read through all electrical codes, knew exactly what she wanted done. First couple weeks on job, she kept coming around to check our work. Not in an annoying way. Was genuinely interested in understanding what we were doing and why. Started taking my lunch breaks when I knew she'd be doing her rounds. We'd talk about the project at first, then about other things. She told me about growing up with her dad, who was general contractor. How she learned all about construction from helping him on jobs. I told her about wanting to modernize Dad's business. Maybe expand to more commercial work. She was easy to talk to. I could rant about dealing with family drama, and she actually got it. Her brother was the favorite kid too. Some hotshot lawyer type who could do no wrong. We joked about starting support group for the responsible siblings. After we finished apartment job, I figured that was it. But about a week later, she called office about some urgent electrical issue in her personal apartment. Dad sent me to check it out. Turns out there wasn't actually anything wrong. She just wanted to see me again. Pretty smooth move, gotta admit. We started dating after that. Natalie was different from other girls I dated. She didn't play games or expect me to read her mind. If something was bothering her, she'd just say it. If she was happy, you knew it. Plus, she actually cared about my work, would help me study for licensing exams, even started helping out with business side of things. Within a year, she was basically running our office, set up whole new scheduling system, modernized our invoicing, created proper contracts instead of handwritten quotes we used to do. Dad wasn't too happy about it at first, likes doing everything on paper, but even he had to admit business was running smoother. I finally felt like I was building something real. We moved in together after 2 years, started talking about marriage, maybe having kids someday. Natalie would joke about our future kids being electricians too. Carrying on family business, man, I really thought I had it all figured out. Funny thing is, my family actually liked her at first. Mom was always inviting us over for dinner, asking Natalie for help with computer stuff, getting her opinion on home improvements. Even Dad warmed up to her. Once he saw how much she was helping business grow, we were landing bigger contracts, getting more commercial work, building real reputation in the area. Natalie got along great with Marcus too. She'd defend him sometimes. When I'd get frustrated about his latest failed scheme, said I should try to understand his perspective more. How growing up sick might have affected him? Looking back now, I should have seen that as red flag. But you know how it is when you trust someone completely. You don't want to see the signs? We got engaged after 4 years together. Nothing fancy. I proposed at home. After we finished this huge project we'd been working on together, she'd been helping me plan this major electrical upgrade for local hospital. Stayed up late with me going over plans. Dealing with contractors, it felt right. Like we were really partners in everything. About a year ago, that's when things started changing. Marcus had burned through another chunk of Dad's money, trying to start some crypto trading business, came back home broke again, and Dad gave him job in our office. Just basic stuff, answering phones, filing paperwork, scheduling appointments. Should have been simple enough. But of course, Marcus found ways to mess it up. Natalie started spending more time at my parents' house, helping Mom with wedding planning and stuff. Said it was easier to work on business paperwork there too. Since Marcus was learning the systems, I was busy with jobs most days, so it made sense at the time. After that, things started getting really messed up. About 8 months before everything blew up, I started noticing small changes. Nothing huge at first, just little things that didn't add up. Natalie was spending more time at my parents' house, helping with business stuff. Said she was training Marcus on our new invoice system and helping Mom with wedding plans. Made sense, right? I was out on jobs most days, working my ass off to save up for our future. We were planning this whole wedding, talking about buying a house. I wanted to do things right. But then other stuff started happening. Natalie changed her phone password. Never really hit her phone before. We both knew each other's passwords. No big deal. But suddenly she got weird about it. Said her banking app needed her to update security or something. Whatever. I trusted her completely, so I didn't think much about it. Then Marcus started acting different too. Started wearing cologne to work. Dude used to show up in yesterday's clothes half the time. Got all these new clothes. Started actually showing up to work on time, which was weird for him. He was being weirdly nice to me too, offering to stay late at the office, saying he really wanted to learn the business. I noticed Natalie talking about him differently. Marcus is really getting good at handling the scheduling. Or, your brother's actually pretty smart when he applies himself. She'd get kind of defensive if I complained about him messing something up. Even started taking his side in family arguments. The office vibe got weird too. Our receptionist Doris, been with us 15 years. She's like a second mom. Started giving me these looks when Natalie and Marcus would be working late together. But whenever I'd ask what was up, she'd just say nothing and change the subject. One time I came back to office early from Job because we ran out of materials. Natalie and Marcus were in break room laughing about something. Nothing obviously wrong, but they both jumped like they were caught doing something. When I walked in, Natalie said they were just going over some invoices at 7 p.m. Right. Started noticing Natalie didn't talk about our future as much. Used to be all excited about wedding plans, looking at houses online, talking about what kind of family we'd have. But she got quiet about all that. Said she was just stressed about work. Real red flag I ignored. She stopped coming to job sites to check on projects. Used to be our thing. She'd bring lunch. We'd go over plans, figure out solutions to problems together. But suddenly she was too busy at office. With Marcus? About 6 months ago, we had this big family dinner. Natalie was acting weird all night, barely talking, checking her phone a lot. Marcus kept trying to make these inside jokes with her. Like this one time he said something about that crazy guy at the office, and Natalie actually snorted laughing. But when I asked what was funny, they both just said, "You had to be there." After dinner and car ride home, I finally brought it up. "You okay? You seemed off tonight." Natalie kept staring at her phone. "Just tired. Work's been crazy." Yeah, seems like you and Marcus are getting along better these days. She kind of tensed up, but tried playing it casual. He's not as bad as you always say. He's actually pretty funny when you get to know him. Funny enough to make you ignore everyone else at dinner? What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, just you've been different lately, distant, always on your phone. She got defensive real quick. Oh, so I'm not allowed to have my own conversations now? Everything has to be about you? That caught me off guard. Natalie never talked to me like that before. That's not what I said, just feels like something's changed. Maybe you're just paranoid. I'm tired of you always complaining about Marcus. He's trying his best. Remember, getting this sick feeling in gut, like something was really wrong, but couldn't put finger on it. She'd never defended Marcus like that before. Since when are you Team Marcus? Since I actually got to know him instead of just listening to you bash him all the time, we drove rest of way in silence. Man, all signs were there. Defensive attitude. The phone. Inside jokes. Way she suddenly thought Marcus was so great. But you never want to believe someone you trust completely could do that to you. Especially not with your own brother. I remember lying there that night, watching her pretend to sleep, thinking, nah, I'm just being paranoid. Next couple months were just more of the same. Natalie working late, Marcus suddenly interested in the business, me being a complete idiot, working 12-hour days, trying to save up for our future, while my brother was stealing my girl right under my nose. Then came the day everything exploded. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I was on this big commercial job. Rewiring this warehouse, Natalie called around 2:30 p.m., crying so hard I could barely understand her, said she needed to talk to me in person. It was urgent. My first thought was something happened to her parents or something. Told my crew I had family emergency. Drove straight home, found her sitting in her car in our driveway. She wouldn't come inside, just sat there gripping steering wheel, like it was only thing keeping her together. I got in passenger seat, waiting for her to say something. I'm pregnant, she said. For a few seconds I felt nothing but happiness. We talked about starting family after wedding, and now it was happening. I started going on about how we'd figure it out, how we could move wedding up if needed. She just kept crying. There's more, she choked out. It might not be yours. Everything inside me went still. My brain refused to process it at first, like I had to run it through second time, to make sure I heard her right. Might not be mine? My voice sounded weird, like it wasn't even mine. Who else's would it be? I stopped. It clicked all at once. The late nights, sudden secrecy with her phone, weird tension whenever I brought up, no. I stared at her, waiting for her to deny it, to tell me I was wrong. She didn't. Tell me it's not him. My voice was sharp now, demanding. She made this broken sound in her throat. It wasn't supposed to happen. I let out a sharp laugh, but there was no humor in it. Oh, right, you just tripped and fell into my brother's bed. It wasn't like that, she said quickly. It was one time. I cut her off. One time? My head was pounding. Tell me the truth. Nothing but silence. How long? Her breath was uneven. 3 months, maybe 4. I had to press hands to knees to steady myself. Does he know? My voice was tight, controlled. She nodded. I told him yesterday. That's when I realized I had to tell you too. I stared at her, like she expected me to be grateful. She finally decided to come clean. I got out of car. Needed air. She followed me. Trying to explain how it wasn't planned, how guilty they both felt, how they'd ended it weeks ago. All I could think about was them laughing in break room. All those times they were working late. Were you ever going to tell me if you weren't pregnant? She didn't answer. That told me everything I needed to know. Got in my truck and drove straight to parents' house. Found Marcus in office doing fuck all like usual. Soon as he saw my face, he knew I knew. Listen, bro, I can explain. I don't really remember what happened next. It's all kind of blur. But I do remember him on ground. Blood coming from his nose. Dad and 2 employees pulling me off him. Marcus started yelling about how I was crazy. How Natalie came onto him first. How they were in love. In love. My own brother. The guy who'd watched me plan my future with this woman. Who'd sat there at Sunday dinners. Knowing what he was doing, Dad got between us. Tried to calm everyone down. Said we needed to handle this like adults. That's when Marcus dropped next bomb. She's having my baby. You can't just ignore that. Dad's face went white. Guess he didn't know about that part yet? Mom started crying. Doris grabbed her purse and walked out. Found out later she quit that day. Said she couldn't work for people who do something like this. I looked at my dad and said, he's your problem now. I'm done. Dad tried to stop me. Son, wait, we can figure this out. Family is family. I told him. Marcus stopped being my family the second he touched my fiancée. Walked out, haven't been back since. Natalie was still at our place when I got home. She'd packed some bags, was sitting on couch crying. I never meant to hurt you, she said. It just got complicated. Told her she had 24 hours to get her stuff and get out. Didn't care where she went. Block my number, lose my address. What about the baby? She asked. Better hope it's Marcus's, because if it's mine, we're doing DNA test and going through lawyers. She tried to say more, but I just walked out, drove to my buddy Victor's place, crashed there for a few days while she moved out. So after everything went down, I stayed at Victor's place for about a week, turned my phone off. Just needed to process everything. Victor's a real one. Didn't try to give advice or anything. Just let me crash. When I finally turned phone back on, had like 50 missed calls, most from parents, some from Natalie. Even few from Marcus. The nerve of this guy, but I only listened to ones from Mom. She was crying in most of them, begging me to come talk to Dad, saying he had a solution. Should have known Dad's solution would be some manipulative BS. But I went anyway, mostly because Mom sounded so upset. Walking into that house was weird. Found everyone in living room. Mom looked like she hadn't slept in days. Dad was in his usual spot and recliner, looking all serious. Like when he's about to give one of his lectures. Marcus was there too, sporting nice bruised nose. Not gonna lie, that felt good to see. Dad cleared his throat and hit me with this gem. Son, I've been thinking about how to resolve this situation in a way that benefits everyone. Already knew this was going to be bad. Since you're clearly not willing to work things out with Natalie, and given her condition, I think it makes sense for her and Marcus to get married. I actually laughed, like full-on laughed in his face. But he wasn't done. Furthermore, since they'll be starting a family, I think it's appropriate for Marcus to take over the business. With Natalie's experience running the office and Marcus learning the trade, they could... Marcus learning the trade? I cut him off. He can't even wire a fucking outlet without supervision. Dad got that look he always gets when someone interrupts him. Language. And your brother has shown real interest in learning. In fact, I want you to train him. Guys, I lost it. Started laughing again. But like that crazy laugh you do. When something's so messed up, you can't even process it. Let me get this straight, I said. You want me to train the brother who screwed my fiancée to take over the business I helped build while they're married and raising a kid that might be mine? Are you actually insane? Mom started crying again. Marcus just sat there staring at floor like coward. Dad pulled out his final card. This business is still in my name. If you won't help your brother, maybe you should find somewhere else to work. That's when I knew all those years of work meant nothing. All that time I put in, clients I brought in, reputation I built, meant nothing compared to Precious Marcus's latest screw-up. I just got up, walked to door. Mom tried to stop me, but I just said, I'm done. Good luck with your new golden team. Marcus finally spoke up. Bro, wait. Turned around and just said, call me bro again and I'll break more than your fucking nose. Dad yelled after me about loyalty and second chances. Didn't even look back. Next day, I started calling all our major clients, ones I had personal relationships with. Told them I was leaving. Suggested some other good contractors they could work with. Dad called screaming about how I was trying to sabotage business. Told him I was just letting my clients know I wouldn't be handling their jobs anymore. Not my fault if they didn't want to work with his new dream team. Marcus and Natalie actually agreed to this whole thing. Got married at courthouse 2 weeks later. Like it was some kind of love story, instead of complete betrayal. Dad even backed them up. Gave them down payment for house, like rewarding them for what they did. Meanwhile, I was left standing in wreckage of everything I thought I knew. No apology, no real consequences. Just me being expected to move on, while they played happy family. So I did, walked away from all of it. Took job with one of our old competitors, place that actually valued my work. Instead of treating me like afterthought, better pay, real appreciation, and best of all, zero family drama. Put everything into starting fresh, building my own reputation. Even got my master electrician license. Something Dad always said I wasn't ready for. Turns out I was more than ready. Just needed to get out from under his shadow to prove it. Didn't hear much about what was happening with family business for about 4 months. Mom would text sometimes. But I asked her not to tell me about Marcus or Natalie. Didn't need that stress in my life. Then last week, got this call from Mom at like 11 p.m. She was crying again, saying Dad needed to talk to me urgently. Almost hung up, but she sounded really messed up. Please, she said. I know you have every right to say no, but we're about to lose everything. I was actually curious, so I stayed online. Dad got on, and man, his voice was different. Not usual, I know everything tone. Guy sounded broken. Turns out letting Marcus run business was exactly the disaster I predicted. This genius managed to screw up 3 major commercial jobs so badly that one client is threatening to sue us over code violations. I'm talking about basic stuff. Wrong gauge wiring, missing ground wires, junction boxes installed without covers. Kind of mistakes that could literally burn building down. And it gets better. Instead of hiring actual qualified electricians, he brought in his drinking buddy from college as head electrician. Guy's whole electrical experience was changing light bulbs in his apartment. No license. No certifications. Probably couldn't tell voltage tester from screwdriver. Real professional operation they're running there. Then there's money side. Marcus apparently forgot to pay their liability insurance. In an electrical business, let that sink in. One accident, one fire, and they'd lose everything. But hey, why waste money on silly things like insurance when you can pocket cash instead? Because that's exactly what he was doing. Taking cash payments from customers and conveniently forgetting to put them in books. And financial genius had been taking out loans against business without telling Dad. Multiple loans. We're talking serious money here. And best part? Nobody can figure out where all that cash went. Not in his bank account. Not invested anywhere. Just gone like magic. Though betting his new car and designer clothes he's been wearing might be clue. It's almost impressive how thoroughly he managed to wreck everything in just a few months. Took Dad 30 years to build this business, and Marcus practically burned it to ground in less than half a year. Guess that's what happens when you hand over a successful company to someone whose biggest achievement was making beer pong team captain in college. Dad finally found out when their insurance got canceled, and he started digging into books. Marcus had been hiding all problems by messing with paperwork, something he learned from Natalie. During all those late nights at office, most of their experienced guys quit. Can't blame them. Marcus was treating them like crap, and checks started bouncing. Doris apparently tried warning Dad months ago about weird stuff in accounts, but he wouldn't listen. Dad's voice was shaking when he told me all this. Then hit me with, "Son, I need you to come back. Help me fix this. We can make you majority owner, give you full control." Told him I needed to think about it. He started getting desperate. "Please, we're going to lose everything. The business, the house, everything I built. Your mother, she's not handling this well." Then he played his final card. Marcus and Natalie split up. She left last week, just disappeared. Left a note saying not to contact her. The baby. We don't even know where she is. Marcus wasn't daddy material after all. My response? Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. Dad started with his usual guilt trip about family and loyalty. Cut him off. Remember when I begged you not to give business to Marcus? When I told you he'd run it into ground? What was it you said? Oh yeah, family is family. Well, this is your family's mess now. Mom got back on phone, crying about how they might be homeless soon. That hit hard. Mom doesn't deserve any of this. She's only one who ever tried to keep family together. Only one who didn't pick sides. Even when maybe she should have told her she could come stay with me anytime. Just her, though. Not Dad, not Marcus. "I can't leave your father," she said. I sighed. "Then that's your choice, Mom. But my door is only open for you." It sucked knowing she'd never walk through it. Couple days later, I got text from Natalie. "I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I need help. The baby's yours." I got the test results. Marcus took all my money and disappeared. Please, I don't have anywhere else to go. I read it, stared at it, put my phone down, didn't respond. Not going to, but damn if it didn't sit there like brick in my gut, like punch I saw coming, but still didn't know how to take. Should have meant something. It should have been life-changing. But all I felt was exhaustion, like I'd finally crawled out of this mess, only for it to reach back and try to pull me under again. And for first time, I wasn't sure what to do. As I was trying to wrap my head around fucked up mess, Dad showed up at my apartment last night. No warning. Just standing there when I got home from work. Looking rough, wearing this old jacket I remember from when I was a kid. Hadn't shaved in what looked like weeks. First thing I noticed, he was driving Mom's old Civic instead of his truck. Found out later, they had to sell his truck to pay some business debts. "Can we talk?" he asked. Not demanding like usual, actually sounded tired. I let him in, because honestly, wanted him to see how I was doing without his help. My new place is pretty sweet. Got it after my last promotion. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. Earned it myself. He stood in my living room looking lost, like he didn't know how to talk to me without giving orders. Finally sat down and just started spilling everything. Business is basically dead. They're facing lawsuits from 2 commercial clients over Marcus's garbage work. Most of their residential customers jumped ship afterward. Got around about jobs being left half-finished. Banks coming for house next month? I should have listened to you, he said. First time I've ever heard him admit being wrong about anything. Told him that was nice to hear, but kind of late. Then he pulled out this folder. Inside was paperwork to sign business over to me. 100% ownership. No strings attached. You can save it, he said. You always knew what you were doing. I was just too proud to see it. Know what's crazy? 6 months ago, this would have been everything I wanted. All that validation. Finally, being given control. Dad admitting I was right. But sitting there looking at those papers. What happened to Marcus? I asked. Dad's face just crumpled. Said Marcus cleared out their savings account last week and disappeared. Left this note about needing to find himself or some BS says, classic Marcus. Creates disaster, then runs away from consequences. He's still your brother, Dad said quietly. Nah, I said. He stopped being my brother the day he decided family loyalty meant nothing to him. Sound familiar? That hit him hard. Good. He started telling me how he could help me rebuild business, how we could work together, be real family again. Had to laugh. Dad, you're not hearing me. I don't want the business. I don't want your help. I'm done. But this is your legacy too. Everything we built, everything I built. You gave it to Marcus, remember? You chose him even after he slept with my fiancée. Now you get to live with that choice. He tried guilt tripping me about Mom again. How she's heartbroken about family falling apart. Told him same thing as before. She's welcome here anytime. Just her. She won't leave me, he said. Then that's her choice. And living with consequences of your actions? That's yours. He sat there for a long time, finally asked real quiet, where did I go wrong? Wanted to lay it all out. All years of favoritism. Constant excuses for Marcus. How he threw away someone who actually cared about business. For someone who saw it as piggy bank to raid. But what's the point? You didn't go wrong, Dad. You got exactly what you always wanted. Marcus being in charge. How's that working out? He left soon after. Looked about 20 years older walking out than when he walked in. Got text from Mom this morning. They're moving in with her sister in Raleigh next month. Dad's going to try finding work there. She asked one more time if I'd reconsider helping them stay here. Told her my offer stands. She can stay with me anytime she wants. But I'm done setting myself on fire to keep other people warm. Natalie still messages sometimes about baby. I told her to have her lawyer contact mine. Haven't heard from Marcus. Don't expect to. You know what's weird? I thought watching them lose everything would feel good. Like karma hitting them back for what they did to me. But honestly, I just feel nothing. Not happy, not sad. Just done. I started dating someone new last month. Taking it slow. She asked about my family. And I just said, we're not close. Maybe someday I'll tell her whole story. But for now, I'm focused on building my own life. No drama. No toxic family BS. No trying to earn approval that never comes. I told Natalie everything goes through lawyers from now on. Will I be there for my kid? Yeah. I'm not my brother. I don't abandon my responsibilities. But Natalie burned that bridge to ashes. We'll figure out custody and support through courts. She made her choices. Now she gets to live with them. Just like everyone else in this mess. For now, I'm just trying to keep head straight. Focus on work. My new relationship. Building something that's just mine. Some nights I lie awake, thinking about how messed up it is. That my kid's going to be born into all this drama. But you can't fix other people's mistakes. You can only try to do right by your own conscience. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well.